Okay, hello, good morning, students. No? So here we are again in our Research 3 class. So this is again your teacher Pini Mancao. So we will continue with our topic. So we are done with the active and passive voice. So diri na ta karon sa writing and presenting science investigation. So before ta moadto sa atong formal nga topic, let's start with this presentation muna. No, a little bit of an encouragement when writing a research paper. No. So here's the question. So how many more of these should we experience? So here's the photo. No? A flood that is too strong to stop. Nalisod kayo siya. How about this one? Too hard to handle. No? Dry kang yuta so gamay kayo ang yield sa mga mag-uuma. Oh, is it possible that natin ma-produce nga kana sa research, no, na mga varieties sa rice na maka-withstand sa grabe kay nga kainit, no, too scarce to secure, gamay ra kay yield, no, daghan kay ang tipaka nana dayon dayon kuan pa gyud, no fish to catch ngano man na, no, nga tuang mga dagat is wala na may mga fishes. So is it possible nga ma-fix na siya diri sa tuang kuan, sa tuang research, no? No food to eat. So how many more of these should we allow humans to cause nani, no, kaning pollution? One time nakabantay ko ani dito padulong sa Iligan, no, kanang tapad sa Mabuhay Vinyl Corporation, no, nga abi na kog falls to dito, but actually it was a kanang drainage dagi kan sa factory. No, dili na siya kanang falls, no, but it's kini nanggahi siya nga mga kuan precipitate sa mga waste. Nasa sa dapin lagi kasada makita lagi na kung dili mo na sa bus, no. Dayon nani pollution, air pollution. So how many more of these will we humans allow to cause? No, kaning deforestation, mga kahoy is nagakalaya tungod sa acid rain, no, kini sa mga syudad kining tawag og photochemical smog. So how are we going to minimize those phenomenon? Dirty nga kuan nga mga estero, no, or sa bana mga creek, no, the rancid smell of a reducing or reduced nga sulfur, no, sulfur dioxides, baho kayo na, or phosphates, o kaning mga dirty na tong mga canals, tong mga bukid is nangaupaw, no, irresponsible mining. So how many more of this should we allow to cripple us? Nani, ang gobyerno dili maka-expand sa tuwa sa iyang mga infrastructure tungod aning mga kuan irregular nga mga settlers, no, mga kuan illegal ni sila nga settlers dara sa daplin, no, sila ang nag-cause og mga hugaw. How about this one? Flesh-eating micromonster, Sarcocystis parasite as magnified by an electron microscope. So unsahon man na siya natupag-defend ana atong mga pananom, no? Ang mga dahon kay nagipang buslutan sa kuan. How are we going to kuan to answer that problem in the most efficient and less nga expensive nga pamaagi, no, to ma-yield pagkaon ug kanang mga pests, no, mga insects. How about this one? This kind of virus, no? I think it's chickenpox. No? How are we going to defend ourselves from that? So, how much more should we be left behind kung kita tanan is replaced na with robots? Sugot mo na. No, wala na tayong workers, puros na robots. No, tanan factory. We will be kanang everything will be replaced with an artificial intelligence. No? But what's a good thing about research is that pwede ka maka-create og something better nga mga, for example, better way of sa architecture, no? It kani siya mga kind of architecture gikuha man ni siya sa nature para sa aning kini akong i-point no. This came from a microscopic structure inside our cells. So giawat nila kanang honeycomb nga kuan nga formation ng structure, no. Giawat na siya ron sa architecture kay it was found out nga lig-on kay siya nga structure with light materials, no? So can science research help? Do you think ang science research maka-help? Hmm, what if baliho na to ang science ug ang can, no? Magbaylo sila position dayon walaon na to ni kaning question mark. Hence the answer is science research can help. So makatabang kayo ang science research, no? But what the science research needs is you, no? It needs you to do it, no? Kay it's not just the scientist but it includes you, me, us, kitang tanan. So, can you young researchers help katong na-mention nato nga problems or even there is a tuwang society? Do you think you would be a big help? So it's only you could answer this question. So in order to answer this question, let's continue with our lesson, no? Writing and presenting science investigations. Okay, by the way, students, before ko nga malimot, no, for our attendance check, so I want you to pause this video, no, dayon mag-selfie dayon mo. Dayon, once you are done watching this video, i-comment din ninyo ang kaninyo ang selfie dito sa kaning sa post ani nga lesson dito sa tong group. Okay? So, let's pause this video for a while, then let's take a selfie. So, dapat makita ang screen ug makita pud ko og kamo pod, no, as a proof nga namina mo. So katon sa mga free data users pud, so nanapod ko kanang pamaagyaton nila. I will just inform them nga while sila nag-browse sa ilang phone, no, while sila nag-browse ato ang boot nga lesson, so ilang buhaton is kanang magkuan na gid sila, mag-selfie ra pon peres ra sa niya. Okay, so let's pause for selfie. And 3, 2, 1. Okay. So I hope nindot rin yung pagka-selfie, no, and then you must post it in the comment below aning nga video sa tuang group page. Okay, so thank you so much, students. So now let's continue with our lesson. Okay, so nanata sa tong kuan no, topic after sa active and passive voices. We are now here in writing and presenting science investigations. Okay, I think dili siya mo. Lagi ni siya. No? So let's start. Um, Let me open with this class with a quote from George D. Gopen. If the reader is to grasp what the writer means, the writer must understand what the reader needs. So, in short, in order for us to be an effective writer, no, in order for us nga masabtan ta sa tong mga readers which is the community, kaya ang readers mo sa to ang researchers ang community man gyud. So we must understand what the reader needs. If the reader needs this kind of thing, then we provide that to. In short, nga to ang research is naka-focus siya sa tuang community, no, naka-contextualize siya sa tuang community. So Science investigative project no, employ scientific method to find out an answer to a scientific problem. I know you are already exposed to the scientific method, no? Nga napa sa inyong grade 7 and grade 8. Then we will apply that diri na dayon sa tuang grade 9 no and grade 10. So a process of collecting information from your own experience no gibase sa imong own experience, mga reliable sources pinagi sa mga journals, mga resources like the books, mga online resources daghan o data from experiments kanang mga previous mga experiments nga nakandak na sa uban, they will provide us additional information no of kung unsa man nga current study atong ginadala. So, what's the purpose of writing a scientific papers that we will communicate new findings and discoveries? No, basin dahil sa tuwang scientific sa sinyong SIP, Science Investigative Project is na mo'y cure sa kaning COVID, no? Na mo'y cure sa katong sa drought, no? If ever mag-drought, makaproduce din mo og breed dai sa rice nga kayang withstand ang harsh nga weathers. Then, another purpose of writing a scientific paper is that we allow readers to perceive what an author had in mind. No? Kung ikaw, you want to be an agent of change, then start writing a scientific paper. No? We must give them the readers what you had in mind if it's good no for the good of of the community. For example, if you want to solve a certain phenomenon sa inyo ha no kanang gitawag nato nga pestilence no daghan kay mga pestes sa ato ang mga pananom, so you could write a scientific paper about it no make it formal para na pod nga kanang ma-communicate na siya, ma-validate na siya, then makuha na din na siya dayon, magamit na siya sa society. No? Next, scientific writing is not an inborn talent, no? Like me. Dili man kay ko kanang maay musulat og kaning research paper, no? Actually, self-learn ra gid ako ang mga research gyud. Sige lang ko, I just keep on reading kay among professor sa una kay maghatag rag topic then kami na din bahala mangita, no? But writing a scientific paper is a skill, no? It must be developed through practice. Sige tag practice, sige tag practice, sige tag practice. Hangtod sa hangtod mamihimo ta nga scientific writer, no? It should inform the reader nga nga kung unsay mo ang gusto nga ipaabot, no? Nga ang kanadang snail nga makita nato sa garden is makaon na siya. Taas din na siya og kanang protein, no? Pwede siya pagbutang og food supplement. Nanay is IP ana nga nahitabo sa tuwang school nung nakabasa ko ana. So, how does one become a good scientific writer? So, paunsa man nga mahimo ka nga good scientific writer? So, let's examine how other scientists write. No? Para mahimo ka maayong writer, magsige kag basa og kanang mga journals, no? Studian nimo ilahang publications, mga journals, no? Mag-follow ka og mga scientific journals nya na daghan man sa internet nang yana, no? Mga discoveries, the way nga ka kung naman to'y saying nga kung unsa ang imong ginabasa mo po na reflect sa imo ha. So if you wanna be a good scientific writer, if you wanna be a good researcher, then read good researches. No? Then ikaduha, be familiar with the basic rules. What I'm teaching you here sa kanyuhang grade 9 is are the basic rules are good. No? Okay, ang advanced rules dito naman na siya sa college. Pero kaniya to ang basic rules dari is gina-employ na to siya og kanang mga advanced rules para puhon-puhon magamit na ninyo, no? So, what's basic in MVTS is an advance to the other school. Dapat ato ang philosophy. Then, number three, submit your work for review. You must always be open for a review. Open-minded kita nga mga scientist, no? Natay mga healthy nga skepticism nga kung fail lang ato ang kuan experiment, then okay na siya. Dawaton na to, no? Dayon always be open for a review. Kaya ang kanang review, dako kay ng katabang nimo because you don't see yourself. Others can. No, others are like mirrors. They describe who you are. So, guidelines for better scientific writing. First is avoid wordiness. No? Dili nimo patas unog mayo nga laglum na kay kag mga in English diha. No? Nahuro tayo mga in English. Naulaw si mo si kuan katong maayo kay nga writer. Si kalimot ko sa yung ngalan nato niya. Si William Shakespeare. Naulaw si Shakespeare sa imuha. No? So omit unneeded words. Kan mga dili kay needed nga mga words bitaw. Kana mga uban pa nga mga accessory words na wala na shorten mo yung mga wordy phrases. Then as we discussed last time, use active voice for the result but not excessively, no? Passive voice for the methods. So chapters 3 and 4, especially kung imong research is nakafocus siya sa mga materials. For example, you are developing a potential food supplement, no? So you are testing it to the mice. So pag abot na sa chapter 4 and 3 nimo, 4 and 5, you will use the passive voice, no? Okay, methods man na especially pud sa kuan. Lagi chapter 4 kay methods naman results naman siya ang discussion. So, writing a research isn't about the complexity or how complex is your process is, no? How complex the terms, the technical terms that you are using, but it is the novelty of the work made. No, this quote was I quoted this from the National Research Council, no, from NCR, katong last na mga webinar. Kay masipag ka ng research man gud, masipag ka ng unsa lang gid ka basic, no? Unsa lang gid ka common sa kabutang, but you can make a science investigatory project out of it, no? Nga mahimo siyang novel kayo. Like for example, kanang nag-develop o ka ng algorithm, no, in determining the gender of the eagles, specific nga kuan sa eagles na napoy uban nga researchers nga nagamit og kanang kuan katong mga giingon ako ganina snails, no, garden snails, specific nga species sa garden snails nga ilang gi-cook, gi-pulverize din gi-studyhan nila for possible food supplement. Kay taas man naman yung mga previous researchers nga nag-prove nga ang kato nga species sa snails kay kuan siya kanang edible din taas og protein. So nya na gud mga simple nga things, no? But with the novelties in your trabaho, no, it is worthwhile to read. So, guidelines for better scientific writing. mm, We will use the acceptable voices, no? Acceptable active voice. So, sa passive nga voice, nakaingon dara, most seedlings were eaten by rabbits. Dayon, sa active voice, rabbits ate most seedlings. So, kabantay mo sa focus pag-abot sa active, no? Ang active, sa active voice na din ang focus na dayon sa kaning sentence is the rabbit itself. Whereas sa passive voice, ang focus sa sentence are the seedlings. The same goes with the next sentence. The territory size was found to vary with population density. No? Ang territory size ang gi-focus dari, which is the subject. Whereas pag abot sa active voice, the territory size varied with population density. No? So, murag ang imuhang kuan focus is nabalhin na siya sa kining mga population density. So things like that, daghan na to, kailangan na to ng mga gina-consider. But don't worry, we got Ma'am Aita and you got me also to help you with your writing. So dili na to kabalakan ng scientific writing, no? Chill lang ta. So guidelines for better scientific writing. So word usage exercises. But before we will proceed, let's cut through here kay time na. Okay, so nanata dere, let's continue. Guidelines for better scientific writing. Word usage exercises. So what's the word? That's the word. So actually kana dapat naka-kuan siya but we are maximizing our time No? So instead of using a number of, you could only use one word, no? Many or several, based on the fact that, or kanang for the reason that, in view of the fact that. So inulit mo because this happened for the reason that blah blah blah. You could only say this happened because blah blah blah. Nga na din, shorten lang. Dili na to ka ng taso ng word. Kaya mura ba ni kasagara ang ako sa estudyante, no? The more lengthy ilang word, mas ma-feel nila nga na-express nila properly ang ilang idea. Where in fact, kanang murag mas ambiguous na siya kay ang thought is magliko-liko siya. Dili siya straight and concise. So there are a lot of instead of phrases that we use here. No? So na a small number of, so you could take pause in this video and then imuha ni siyang i-screenshot para just in case kanang ganahan ka mag study, pero mas mahigit nga mag-study ka, no? Okay, so there are a lot more, no? So nag-ulan na dari sa mga guys. Okay, so ato lang kusgo natong tingog. So instead of phrases, daghan kita, red in color, you could also say red. In consequence of this fact, therefore, or consequently, in length or long, in order to, just use that too. No? Round in shape, just say round, round itself. In spite of the fact that, you could also say although. In the near future, you could say soon. Diba? Is known to be. You could also say is. The snail is known to be the ugliest one. You could also say the snail is the ugliest one. No, no, no. Small in size, or you could say small in the order of about, owing to the fact that, because, prior to, or you could also say before. Reported in the literature. So reported, subsequent to, after, of great importance, important. It is possible that, possibly, it would appear that, apparently, it is likely that, likely, it is clear that, clearly, it appears that, apparently. So nana siya mga words na pagyuban dari, no? This reaction is not uncommon, no? Not pagyud uncommon pagyud, himo na lang nimo siya, this reaction is common, positive na lang, no? This result is not unlikely to occur. Not is negative, unlikely is negative, himo na lang nimo result is likely to occur, no? Tungod sa tong madala ta sa tong emotion ba while writing our paper, we will use this instead of phrases na dayon nga tag-as na dayon kayo, no? In excess of 50%, greater than 50%, in excess of 30 milligram, more than 30 milligram, or more than 20 grams, no? It is a procedure that is often used. This procedure is often used. So pamubuon nimo ang imuhang kwan, imuhang kini mga words, no? Nana. So there are other rules, no? Use compare to, ang phrase na compare to, when similarities are being noted, no? For example, you are comparing the similarities of the phone. The iPhone and the Android phone, the iPhone compared to Android phone, they are used for calling, nana, compared to. Whereas pag may ka kaning compare with, no, when differences are being noted, kung gusto nimo nga kaning ma-notify ang differences, so compare with yung gamitan. For example, iPhone works faster compare with Android phones. Oh, nana. So for example, let's have an example right here. Compared blank, compound 3 and compound 4 shows an NMR spectrum with corresponding peaks. So, what do you think ang quantity? Is it compared to or compared with? Okay, so the word must be compared to, because compound 3 and 4 naman sila common nga kanang characteristics, which is the NMR spectrum, no? Parehas man sila og peak nga NMR spectrum. Okay, how about the next one? Example, compared blank, compound 3 Compound 4 shows a more complex NMR spectrum. At this sentence, mas labaw si compound 4 kaysa sa ni compound 3. So, the phrase that we are going to use is compared with. Compared with compound 3, compound 4 shows a more complex NMR spectrum. Ano ra? Ano ra, no? So, idioms like different from, similar to, identical to, and identical with, kana sila mga phrases, mga idioms, dili nimo sila dapat bulagon, no? Different, blah 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 from, no, it's incorrect. Like just like for example in here, the incorrect example, the complex shows a significantly different NMR resonance from that of compound 1. So, ang kana different from dira kani siya, no? Naa siya word in between which is the NMR resonance. So, dili na siya mao. Instead, we will dili na to putlo ng different from, no? The complex shows an NMR resonance significantly different from that of compound 1. So, nanara. No? So, dili nimo bulagon. Another example, compound 5 does not catalyze hydrogenation under similar conditions to compound 6. So, does na ang word dari is kining similar to, no? Similar conditions to. So, imong buhaton ani, di yun siya bulagon, no? Similar to compound, similar to, no, to those of compound 6. Base sa correct nga example. No? Compound 5 does not catalyze hydrogenation under conditions similar to those for compound 6. You must find a way nga di sila mabulag. No? Another incorrect example, the product was washed either with alcohol or acetone. No, that is an incorrect because nagbulag ang either I think ang nagbulag ani is ang kining kuan. Ambiguous sentence siya. So ang correct niya nga sentence is the product was washed with either alcohol or acetone. Dili mo bulago ng either or, no? Dili mo siya butangan og kanang another na pod nga kaning signaling phrases like with nana. No? Either alcohol or acetone, or you could also say the product was washed either with alcohol or with acetone. Also correct ra gyapon siya in that way. So ang either og or, no, automatic ang sundlan sa either is ang alcohol gyud. Pero kung if you want to insist nga gamiton gyapon nimo ning with, no, i-add na lang po nimo dari para parallelism sila, no, with alcohol or with acetone. Okay, so now let's continue the next slide. Okay, so nanatadaling a slide, no? So, guidelines for better scientific writing. So, make sure your each verb agrees with its subject. So, anong guidelines ba itong ibutan that is because there are no formal rules pa yun sa scientific writing, no? It varies from country to country, no? Lahi ang sa US, lahi po ang sa British na mga country, no? Lahi po dyan sa Philippines. But there's a one thing a common sila, no? They are all scientific papers. So, here's the tip. Make sure each verb agrees with its subject, no? The color and the shape, the beak are, is not, not is, and, no? You could also say the shape, the color and the shape, there are two kuan naman, so two subjects, so it is already a kuan, a plural form, no, are na imong gamiton. So, our important taxonomic features, no, not feature, because we are talking about two features right there. Mo na nga, with S ang features, kani. Okay, avoid repetition. So some sentences or paragraphs are wordy. Oh, wordy kay because the writer includes the same information twice. Like for example, kanang mag cite ka og study, no? In Copp's study, he found that temperature had no effect on display rates. Then gibutang pag mo COP 1993, no, which is redundant na dayon kay siya, no. Okay, this part signifies that this statement is not yours. It came from COP. Dili mo pag yung siyang gi-mention pag dari COP 1993. Dili po di mo mahimo nga pabili nimo ni in COP study then kani is wala. No. No, dili na siya na ang pamagi sa pag-write research. What's the correct one is this one. Temperature has had no effect on display rates. COP 1993. So nananin mo siya pag citation. So later on kaning citation class, we will be tackling all about this, no? Unsa na kanang bag-ong latest trends karon, no? APA 7 ba or magamit ta atong kuan? Magamit ba ta ato katong gitawag nilang sa to? Ingon ni Mamayta, I forgot that term. No? Sa to Mexican ba to? Sa to? So we will tackle that as soon as possible. So let's double our time. Make sure the paragraphs are coherent units of thought. So a writer constructs, orders, and connects paragraphs to guide the reader from one topic to the next one. So dili kay imuhang flow sa imuhang idea is gaambak-ambak ka. No? That's why I'm always training you. I always nako na siya gi-include sa tuwang rubrics, no? The organization of your idea. How you organize your idea in a such way nga masabtan dayon nako siya diretso. Dili kay kanang imuhang topic sa first sentence kay it's all about the kuan pa kining the active and passive voice pero pag abot nimo sa tunga-tunga kay mura na nung kag kanang niadto na ka sa problems and concerns sa society nawala na ka sa active and passive voice then pag abot mo sa conclusion imuha na dayon is kanang all about research writing na dayon dili wala nawala na ka sa active and passive voice nga focus. So that's why I'm always recording, no? I'm always encouraging you to organize your ideas, no? By including that in our rubric always. So next tip, be careful about using nouns as adjectives. So what students ginabuhat nila is they use nouns as adjectives. No, for example, Gray 1997 found that red-winged blackbird females were less vocal during the pair formation period. No? So what they did is kanang mali ang kanang order ba sa kaning sa nouns, no? Red-winged blackbird females, no? Dili na siya mao nga kaning order, no? Dapat unahon nimo kanang unsa iyang gender, no? It's female. Then what type of bird? What's the color? The color, no? Is it a red wing? Is it a yellow wing? No? Blue wing iha or unsa man na siya? Red wing or what kind of beak, no? Na order ana. So maybe next time I will be able to show you or kamo na lang mag-search, no? The correct order of kaning noun adjectives, no? Nana. So there's the correct one. Gray 1997 found that the female red-winged blackbirds were less vocal during pair formation. So blackbirds ang kinalasan because sila man ang kaning object, no? Simuha sa atong verb nga found. Oh, it's not the females, but it's the blackbirds itself. Okay, so materials and methods, results and citing authors directly. No, so when you are citing, use third person. No, verb should be in the past tense. No, found, studied, nana, they presented, nana. No, use present tense only in discussion when referring to published knowledge. No, kanang mga existing na mga knowledge except when citing an author directly. When we say published knowledge, no, kanang for example, kanang mga existing na mga knowledge, kanang mga first law, second law of motion, kanang mga common na kayong mga knowledge. But when you are to cite an author, no, when you are going to cite an author directly para sa atong gibuhat nato kaniyo, Gray found, so atong gagamito nato is dapat dili na siya kining present tense, past tense na siya, no? So, examples of in-text citation style and tenses. So, fungi are not known to contain chlorophyll according to Star 1991, no? This is a direct nga citation man gud sa class, no? Wala nimo siya gi-refrain, wala nimo siya giusab ang imong kuan nga yung ka nga Star found that wala, no? Kani man nimo ang iyang mga words ano na ali sa iyang ngalan. Or else nani, past tense. Kung mauna gani si Star, no? Star 1991 found that diri na ka mag-use og kanang past tense na dayon, no? Fungi lack chlorophyll. Then next one, Jones person's communication material. I don't know what's the meaning of that. Found that fungi lack chlorophyll. So nana, pag mag-una ang kaning iyahang ngalan, no, ang source, no, direct man nimo siya nga gibutang, no, it will automatically use the past tense na dayon, no? So nana, now let's proceed to the next one. Italics or underline pag handwritten nimo or kanang imong gibinuldi all the scientific names, no, for the kanang genus, mga species ng mga nana bitaw, no, imo na siyang i-italize. For example, name tree, no, Azadirachta indica use. So ang kana siyang kanang yan scientific name niya, no, yan genus, yan species, yan organism. First letter na niya ang capital, no? Then italics din tanan. Then kinalasan ka ng use o ka ng lean, capital letter niya sa it's because it's how many names sa discoverer, no? Nana. So, if your study, no, naga-include og naming all about organisms, you must italize it. Okay? So, let's have the next one. Writing style. So, use metric system of measurement. Abbreviations of unit are used without a following period, no? For example, centimeter is cm, no? Dili na ka magbutang og period ana niya after sa kuhaan sa cm, no? Pag mag-type ka diha og cm, type ka ng cm, ana butang yung period, no? Kay it signals nga diha ra tama nimong sentence, no? Ma-misread na unta na nimo. Number two, be aware that the word data is plural while datum, or sa ba na, datum is singular. This affects the choice of a correct verb. So, we must be careful of a correct verb. If dili kayo mo parehas na ko nga if parehas mo na ko nga dili kayo maayo og grammar, no, we can always ask help. No, pwede ta magpa grammar check ta sa English department sa school. The word species is used for both singular and as a plural. No, ang word niya species. The species of birds, a species of verbs, no? Nana. Sa panang uban nga kanang naka S form nga mga verb ay mga nouns, no? Bisan debris, no? Naka S man gid na siya. Kanang mathematics, no? O singular man or plural ang use niya. Mathematics has always S in the S form or with the S in the kinalasan. Walay word yung mathematic, no? Di ba? So number four, numbers should be written as numerals when they are greater than 10. No, when they are greater than 10 or when they are associated with measurements. Dili ka moingon diha nga word nga 6 SIX gaman mm. No, it's informal. Basta gani associated with measurements, it must be in the numerical form. Then if it is greater than 10, so it must be on a numerical form gyapon, no? For example, the experiment has undergone five five trials. So ang kanang word nga five diha wala man siya nga nag-indicate og measurement, no? So imong button na is button na isulat nimo siya as word FIV. The experiment undergone five trials. No? Five FIVE. Dili siya number. Okay. So now let's proceed to the next slide. Okay, now class, let's have some more guidelines for better scientific writing. So, is yung writing style. So, manamantan ano? So, dito tayo sa number 5. When one list includes numbers over and under 10, all numbers in the list may be expressed as numerals. For example, kanang 17 bananas, 13 mice, and 2 dogs. Kanang mga numbers, no? Over or kaning kuan under 10, lapas or ubos pa sa 10, they must be expressed as numerals, no? Kung daghan na kayo sila or naka-list form sila. For example, the tried experiment uses 17 bananas, 13 mice, and 2 dogs. Ang mga numbers ana is in the numerical form or in the numeral form. So number 6, never start a sentence with numerals. No? So dili ka mag-start og numerals. Example, first experiment, no? First experiment was done by the DOH. O nana. So first experiment is so word ang first, dili na siya 1ST, but you will use the spell out yun mo siya. No? First, FIRST. Then number 7, be sure to divide paragraphs correctly and to use starting and ending sentences that indicate the purpose of the paragraph. So dili nimo siya kanang putlo nimuhang sentences, no? Kaysa research man good class, what usually happens is that tungod sa kataas sa paragraph is mga putol ang mga sentences, no? So let me show you an example of a research, no? So this was a research from somewhere, no? Ako amin nga research sa nasa undergrad pa ko, sa college pa ko. So tara. So if ang paragraph is kanang tama ng sentence, no? Ayaw niya, for example, kung taas gid kayo siya, so dili nimo siya pwede ka na magsumpay pa ka nga hanging, no? Kung napakay susumpay, sa next paragraph na lang pud siya para sa niyo. Diri ra siya taman sa material. Naaday period, adisar pa ni proceed yun sa next nga idea or next nga paragraph sa next na pud nga page. So, ingana na siya class, no? And every sentence must have a subject and a verb, no? Always yun ang ana kay subject ug naa kay verb. But take note, dapat dili mag-redundant ang imuhang subject. Basin niya didto, magsige na kayong kagamit na the researchers, the researchers, the researchers, no? Mamay ta dili gyud siya ganahan ra ba na gyud. Manda mo. Maulawan tayo pati ako. No, number 9, avoid using the first person I or we in writing. No? When you are writing your paper, you must avoid the use of I or we. Keep your writing impersonal. Use it in a third person. No? Third person mo gamiton. Instead of saying, we weighed the leaves and put them in a beaker, so you should write, the leaves were weighed and put in a beaker, no? Nana, always in a third person. Dili ka mag-mention of I, me, us, nana. No? Was measured by us? No, it's wrong. It must be in the third person. No? So wala na ginigibutang dera ang kuan gani ang doer sa action, no? Because this is only passive voice. The leaves were weighed and put in a beaker. Supposedly, you could say that by the researcher, but it's not necessarily no because di mataga na we are not allowed or somebody we are encouraged not to use the researcher nga phrase. So ikapulo nga tip, avoid the use of slang and overuse of contractions, no? So dili ta magamit og didn't na mga contractions, no? Pag ang sentence necessarily gid siya nga mo use og didn't, you must spell it out, no? Did not, isn't, where, is not, weren't, we're not, yun na siya, no? Aren't, are not. So dili ta magtinapol dari, no? Number 11, be consistent in the use of tense throughout the paragraph. Example chapter 4, all of the kanang kuan diha, all of the paragraphs, all of the sentences in that chapter 4 must be on a kaning past tense na siya kay you are collecting results naman, no? The procedure has been done, no? ang data collection has been done. That's why past tense na din siya all throughout sa chapter 4. Okay. Hawan ko na po siya sa chapter 5. No? So, number 12. Be sure that pronouns refer to antecedents. Example, in the statement, sometimes fireflies are in mango trees, but they are hard to find. No? So kana siya nga kaning kuan nga sentence, does they refer to fireflies or mango trees? No? Unsa man na ang kaning they diari? Ang kini mong antecedent nga they. Is it the mango trees ang lisod kayo nga pangitaon or ang fireflies? No? So, it will leave you hanging. No, it will leave you into an ambiguous state. So, what would be the kuan? The more improved nga sentence. So, para nako, sometimes fireflies are in mango trees, but uh, ano lang, sometimes fireflies are hard to find. Fireflies are hard to find. Ano lang, and they stay or they naman lang din balik ya po no. But these species, ano lang, but these species are usually found in mango trees. Ano lang, good? No? So, oh, that's the end of our slideshow. So I hope, dear students, yeah, you were able to gather or grab some ideas sa tuwang how to write a better scientific paper. No? For our activity, so after na ako ma-post ni kaninga video lesson, no? I will post our activity and you will also gain your characters right after po dayon. So, stay tuned class. So, stay happy, stay healthy, and ayugid mo paulan kay COVID kay Ron. So, don't worry, I won't stress you out. Magpaspas na kita sa tuwang lesson. So, have a good day. Bye-bye.